became the most hated and the most unpopular person in Kenya. In 2005, 2 years after his election, the first time, 3 years, he brought a referendum. He was defeated in that referendum. You remember Banana Orange? He was defeated. He dissolved the entire cabinet. He was left with the old man, is it Moody or Worry or something? Yeah. So what is happening around here is something that has happened before. And why President Kibaki and President Ruto? Ask yourself why. It is because any transformative leader who has an idea of what to do about key sectors that define a country's transformation, many times the decisions that leader has to make to transform the country are usually unpopular. They are not popular. Populist leaders make popular decisions. Okay? I'll give you an example. This universal health care that we are focused on implementing is not the invention of Kenya Kwanza. Professor Kithaka and the others, the scholars, will tell you, President Kibaki intended to bring universal health coverage when Charity Ngilo was minister. Aka-introduce the topic, siasa kama hii ikakuja, Kibaki retreated. Ikakufa. President Uhuru had universal health care in his manifesto. I'm part of the team that wrote that manifesto, the first term. Akaona it's very unpopular because you have to increase the levies that you're charging people and so forth. Akaikalia first term. He thought he can introduce it in second term when he's going home because he will not be looking for re-election. So in 2018, Aka announced the Big Four agenda. One of them was universal health coverage. Cecily Kariuki was the minister for health. Siasa ikakuja, Uhuru backtracked. I remember Uhuru asking us, sisi tuko na insurance? Kama watu wamekataa health insurance, sisi tuko na insurance? Alafu akauliza deputy yake that time. I just overheard, nilikuwa area tu, nilikuwa hapo, sikuwa karibu. Nikasikia akauliza deputy yake, "Wewe William, si mimi na wewe tuko na nyumba? Hii housing program, kwa sababu housing ilikuwa kwa Big Four ya Uhuru pia, isn't it? Si wewe uko na nyumba na mimi niko na nyumba. Hii manyumba ni ya nini, tuwache?" Wakawacha. Brothers and sisters, I'll shortly tell you what housing and what a health insurance for every Kenyan means to the economy and to household incomes in a short while. But before I do that, I want to say for the last 2 years, President Ruto has struggled with what we call macroeconomic stability. Macroeconomic stability means, for those who are not experts like myself, I'm not also an expert in the economy, but I have learned from the experts. Macroeconomic stability are the fundamental foundational economic growth indicators that must be in place before you start now building the growth of the...
Nyinyi mko pale Wabukusu naenda pande hii. Malabori naenda pande hii. Waidao, Waisuga, Marama, Banyala, Basoso wanaenda pande hii. Kabras naenda pande hii. Hapo ndio shida yenu iko kama jamii. Na lazima mketi chini. Mjipange nyinyi wenyewe bila kupangwa na mtu mwingine. Na msiongee na mtu saa hii mpaka mjipange kwanza. Muunganishe Western yote. Muongee sauti moja. Na ndio unaona huyu anatembea anapigwa. Because hiyo lugha anaongea watu wataki. because wanajua Western ikiungana iongee sauti moja itakuwa na umaarufu kubwa sana, ushawishi
kisiasa. Inasemekana anatembea, wewe ndio umetuma yeye. Ndio unasukuma anatembea.
Mimi nimetuma yeye, kwani yeye ni mtoto? Natembea, ni kiongozi, amechaguliwa governor, alikuwa PC. Huyo ni kiongozi, anajua nini anafanya. Ile mimi natembea, ile kitu tunafanana ni kuongea lugha moja, mtu aunganisha watu yao. Mimi rais alinifika kwa sababu ya kuunganisha watu wetu. Alitaka hatukawanye, agawanye watu ya East na watu ya West, watu ya Murang'a, nikamkataza na nikakataa na nikaunganisha watu wetu, na watu wetu wameshikana kama simiti, kwa sababu rais akitukawanya tutakuwa watumwa wake na atatukalia sana na atatuchenga na atatuumiza vile tunaumia saa hii akitutenganisha. Lakini tukiungana tuko na nguvu sana watu wa mlima, kwa sababu tuko na kura yetu milioni karibu 7. Tutaketi na kusema hapana, tunataka namna hii, nataka namna hii. Huyu Natembea anapigwa kwa sababu anaongea lugha ile ambayo inafaa kusema watu ya Mlembe tuungane, kabla hata hatujaongea na wengine, kwanza tuungane. Na ndio wanataka kumtoa, mpaka kulikuwa na njama ya kumtoa governor pale Trans Nzoia. Na unajua sasa wale wa Bukusu na wale wa Mlembe wako pale, wajue Natembea akitolewa, deputy governor ni mtu ya jamii ya rais, ndio atakuja kuwe governor hapo. So wale watu ya Mlembe wako pale, hata wale wa Kikuyu wako pale assembly, niliwaongelesha nikamwambia, nyinyi msikuje watu kutumika vibaya, mnakuja kufukuza Natembea. Natembea akitoka nani nakalia hiyo kiti? Na Natembea makosa yake ni kuchanua Waluya, kuambia nyinyi sisi ni wengi kama jamii, tuungane kwanza. Kwa hivyo mimi message yangu kwa Mlembe Nation, hii maneno ya kusema nyinyi ni Bukusu, nyinyi ni Malagori, nyinyi ni Waidao, nyinyi ni Waisuga, nyinyi ni Basoso, nyinyi ni Marama, nyinyi ni Wakisa, hiyo maneno muachane naye. Muungane nyinyi nyote kama Mlembe. Mkishafikisha kula milioni 5, tafute Rigiji tuketi na Kalonzo na Matiang'i na wengine, tuseme sasa tuko hapa, hizi ndizo kura zetu, tupangane. Tupangane na mnangani. Sasa nyinyi mnapita ati Raila apange nyinyi. Sasa saa hii anapanga maneno yake ya hiyo, nyinyi mko hapo? Hamko hapo? Juzi amepewa mawaziri, ile kiti ya finance wakati ya Azimio ilikuwa ya Oparanya. Saa ile amepata nafasi, hajapatia Oparanya hiyo kiti ya finance, amepatia Abadi. Kama mngekuja kwa meza direct, mngepata kiti yenu. Sasa Oparanya amepata kupitia kwa Raila. Unaona? Sasa nyinyi tafadhali, nataka niongeleshe nyinyi kama mzee. Mimi nimeona mambo mingi. Siri ya hii Kenya kwa wale wote wanatafuta uongozi ni kuungana na kuongea sauti moja. Mkikubali kugawanywa, watu wengine wako kwa Musalia, wengine wako kwa Wetangula, wengine wako kwa Atwoli, wengine wako kwa Raila, wengine wako wapi, mtapotea. Na unajua tulipokuwa pale kwa hii agreement, huyu kijana anaitwa Cleophas Malala alifukuzwa pia. Na alifukuzwa kwa sababu ya hii agreement hii, alikuwa pia anatetea. There is nothing for Mlembe Nation. The personal gain ni Raila, kwa sababu alileta watu wangu wanao kwa serikali. Nyinyi mlipoteza, you changed one for one. Okay? Hiyo mlichezewa. Number 2, pale kwa hii serikali, rais ndio mwenye kuamua kila kitu. Hata ukileta mawaziri ngapi, is a waste of time. Yeye mwenye ndio mwenye kuamua, wako tu pale. Na tangu broad based ikuje, hakuna maisha ya Wakenya yamebadilika. Gharama ya maisha igali iko vile ilikuwa. SHA is not working. Chief is not working. Payslip imefinywa. Ndio tunataka kurescue, kuiokoa payslip. Madeni ya Kenya haijalipwa. Barabara hazijajengwa. Hata juzi hiyo rais amekuja huko, ile barabara hakuna kitu naendelea. Nothing, what has changed. Unajua tukisema hii broad base ni mzuri kama kuna kitu imebadilika. Lakini as we speak today, watoto ya university wako nyumbani, hawana pesa ya kwenda kulipa. Hospitali haina dawa. So what is the gain of the broad based government? Hiyo broad based ni watu tu wametafutiwa kazi, ndio waunge rais mkono wanyamaze, na wamenyamaza, rais anaendelea, hakuna kitu imebadilika, ni vile ilikuwa. Mimi sitaki niongee mambo ya Kindiki kwa sababu huyo ni mfanyakazi wa rais. Sasa mimi ni kiongozi amechaguliwa, utaongeaje juu ya mfanyakazi? yeye anafanya vile rais anataka, na hiyo ni uamuzi ya rais. Sasa huyo ni mfanyikazi yake, anamwambia sema hii, fanya hii, fanya hii, fanya hii. Mimi sina shida na sina shughuli na yeye, kwa sababu mimi sasa niko kwa mambo yangu, na mambo yangu ni vile hii Kenya tutapanga, tuone vile itakaa. Mimi hakuna mjumbe ninafuatili, lakini mimi naheshimu viongozi wote wako na msimamo. Huyu Karasinga ni kiongozi yako na msimamo, mimi namheshimu. Huyu kijana anaitwa Salasia, Peter Salasia, it's a young man but with brains. Hako na akili mingi sana huyo kijana. Anacheka tu namna hiyo, lakini zile point uliona siku rais alikuja pale vile aliongea. Anaongea vile wananchi wanataka kusikia, kwa sababu yeye ni mtu ya ground. Mimi namheshimu sana. Huyu kwa boka anatetea watu yake na hakuna makosa amefanya. Unajua, the only thing we have in common with them, mimi pia ni mtetezi ya wananchi na hao viongozi wanatetea wananchi. Mimi hakuna mtu nimefuatili. Mimi huyu kwa boka sijaongea naye, hata sina simu yake. Salasia, I have not seen him for a long time. Nimemuona juzi hapa tukifungua ofisi ya DAP. You know, huyu Karasinga, I talked to him wakati ya impeachment. Akiniambia anaambiwa ni impeach na watu yake hawataki. So mimi ni kuheshimiana na heshimiana na viongozi ambao wako na msimamo, because mimi naamini ni mzuri sana kuheshimu raia. Ndio.
Mheshimiwa Rigiji, maswali matatu. Swali la kwanza ni nafasi ya vijana, kwa sababu tumekuona kule wa Mnyoro ukiwa na wageni tofauti tofauti wa siasa, marafiki wa siasa. Labda kuna vijana katika huo mrengo ambao utakuwa unazungumza na Wakenya hivi karibuni. Swali la pili, kuna taxes, ushuru ambao unafinya Mkenya wa chini. Labda kama mtakuwa na nafasi ya kuendesha serikali, je, ni ushuru upi huu ambao mtaondolea Mkenya wa chini? Swali la tatu, what are your chances of winning, Your Excellency?
Nilisikia vijana watahusishwa sana. Kwanza ile gari mimi naunda na watu wengine ambao tutaelewana. Vijana wetu wa Gen Z na millennials watakuwa na nafasi kubwa sana, kwa sababu hao vijana ndio wenye nchi hii ya Kenya, na ndio leo na kesho yetu.
Yes, that is Rigiji when he was talking, and of course, yes, our headliner. Every day you see Rigiji, then you know that Africa 24 political discussion is almost on. Of course, Rigiji was having that press with one of the ministry media houses in Kenya when he was responding to some of the questions after he was impeached, and he is also like campaigning for 2027, even though he has not revealed his stand for 2027, whereby leaders are saying in 2027 they're going to get into the ballot. As Kenyans try to get the best person to lead this country, because they trusted the Kenya Kwanza government, but the government has failed them terribly. That is Kenyans saying those kind of words, not my words, but Kenyans saying that they have been failed terribly by the Kenya Kwanza government. Of course, you know, the Republic of Kenya is one of the countries that is experiencing a lot of corruption cases. So a lot of things that happens in the country, and at the end of the day, the common mwananchi is the one who is going to be affected. Remember, this is a 24 Africa 24 political discussion. So where are you tuning? There's a great conversation. You know, every 10 p.m. East African time, we always have this great show. So we welcome you wherever you are following this conversation. You can join through the comment section. Tell us where you are following this. You can send your views, ideas, share them through the comment section. You can also join the studio through the link that I've shared there, and you will be welcomed in this wonderful show. We welcome you wherever you are, and of course, we are going to share more when it comes to the politics of Kenya. But the main topic of today is an American regime. The new American regime is like affecting Kenyans, because a lot of money that was being invested by United States of America to poor countries. Of course, Kenya is one of the poor countries, because we cannot sustain ourselves. We have to depend on other financial sources so that you can move on. But now, since Donald Trump came in, we have seen a lot of people complaining. Also, You saw the reaction from the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was saying that we should not complain. We should, of course, go back to the drawing board and say what we need to do so that we can stand on our own. So, do you think that American regime will affect Kenya completely? Because we are 4 years in the Donald Trump era, and of course we have a few years to 2027 general election. The Haiti support, of course, you know we have more than 900 police officers who are in the Haiti, and they are trying to bring peace in Haiti. So that is the main topic of the today. You can share your views and comment section through our Africa 24 social media platforms. Of course, I have Jeremiah here. Jeremiah, Alex, they are in the studio so that they can help me to analyze politics in our today's show. Karibu sana Alex, tambie maoni yako ni gani kuhusu topic ya leo?
Uh, Good evening to you, Bonnie and Jeremiah. Happy to see you all. So I see the discussion today is about the about how Trump's government will affect the Kenyan economy, and it's a good topic to discuss about. So I think Trump is a bulldozer of a person. He he's trying to restore some parity in the United States. And let's see what he will be able to do. We have seen he has cut ties with the Kenya funding the Haiti with he has cut the funds whereby Kenya is using to fight the war in Haiti, and it's a wake up call for us. And let's see what Trump will do, and I hope he revives the American economy. Thank you.
Yes, Jeremiah, you've listened to the main topic of today. Regime or the new regime in the United States. Since Donald Trump aingie pale, watu wengi wamesumbuka sana, sio Kenya peke yake, East Africa, some of the poor countries that depend on USAID, and also you have seen also we are suffering from those ARVs. You know, we depend on from America. America supports us in many ways. Do you think that Kenya is going to be affected economically and also in other ways because of Donald Trump? Because it's like Donald Trump does not associate with the Kenya Kwanza regime. Only Biden was close to them.
Good evening, Bon and Alex.
Yes.
Good to see you both. Trump got to power on two mantras. One, make America great again. And two, America first. Any president, when they're swearing in, they put the whatever country they're going to be presidents of first. So what Trump is doing is a good thing for him as an American president, putting America first and making America great again. Without saying, some of his policies will negatively affect, many countries that depend on American aid, Kenya being one of them. Whereas many of us are going to lose their lives in the process, many of us are going to be really negatively affected by the withdrawal of American aid to USAID, by withdrawing all these USAID projects across the world. There's going to be very serious repercussions, right? But it is also a wake-up call for us, and especially I want to speak for my motherland, Kenya. Yeah,
I hope that we don't take that withdrawal negatively and then start saying that now we want to be able to walk because America has taken the aid. Let us suffer, but in the suffering, let's make a transition to stand on our own 2 feet. There is really no reason why we have to depend on US aid to support our healthcare systems in Kenya from end to end. But at the same time, we are allocating a lot of money in our annual budgets, national budgets for healthcare. Na watu wanaiba tu, watu wanakula tu. It is a wake-up call to us, and I think that any African or any leader of any other country that is not America, that is worth their weight in salt, should say, okay, ametoa, actually hata sirudishe, right? Let us figure out how do we sort this thing out ourselves so that we can depend on ourselves, because from economic angles, it's been a very long discussion for decades. Most intellectual, Pan-Africanists have been campaigning for trade, not aid. People have been saying, tuache depend on aid. Let's trade, let's do business, and let's make our money at par with everyone else. Tusikae tunangojea aid. So as much as, like I said, there are going to be very serious repercussions. People are going to lose their lives. People are going to, lose so much. But when you come out of the tunnel on the other end, we will be a better society that can provide for ourselves. Ukichukua kiwete, ule umepatia crutches, zile umenunua kwa duka, anatembea nayo, mnatembea, mnaenda kwa forest, mnaenda ng'ambo ile ingine, alafu mkosanie kwa njia hapo, uchukue crutches zako wewe uende, na huyu kiwete ako kwa forest. Huyu kiwete akikufa kwa hii forest, because haizi ona ati kwa hii forest kuna miti, kuna mbao, naweza jitengenezea crutches na niendelee na safari, huyu kiwete does not even deserve to live. That is the situation we are in. Because he has taken away this aid, we should not now say we want to be able to provide healthcare for our people because USAID has taken away the crutches. Let our countries learn that we are in a forest where kuna miti, they can make their own crutches for us or to provide their healthcare. Let it be poor, but let it be ours. Let it be sustainable. Let it be one that haitakuja kutolewa tena na mtu mwingine. Over time, we will come out better. That's what I would say. Trump can withdraw all the aid that he wants. I would not say anything bad about it. It should be a wake-up call for us to use our resources wisely, to provide for our people.
Yes, we use our resources wisely so that we can stand without depending on other countries. But now this one depends with the government. And of course, the Kenya Kwanza government led by President William Ruto, you have seen how the Gen Z during the last year protest, they said that they are not comfortable with the cabinet secretaries. They were dropped. The entire cabinet was dropped. Also, we have seen the reshuffling of the cabinet. And cabinets are the one who will assist the president in carrying on development, because the president cannot be all over. Now we have seen very sensitive ministries in this country. The Minister of Education, Ministry of Health, you have seen what happened. Susan Nakumecha was there, and she did nothing. So what happened? The Ministry of Agriculture, Linturi was there, he did nothing, whereby he even sold fake fertilizer to the farmers. You see, we also have very sensitive ministries being affected because of incompetent secretaries. Alex, do you think that William Ruto was an incompetent cabinet secretary? Why would you think that? If no, then you can give us your views. You support them, or if no, then why?
You see, Bonnie, one thing I can tell you is about the president is, if he wants to deliver, he will deliver, and he will do it with due diligence, and he will do it better than all the previous presidents combined. If he wanted to, if he wanted to ensure the institutions are working, like for example the healthcare system, we would have a healthcare system that is working, one which money is not being stolen, and no corruption is happening in the health sector. If he wanted to make the education sector be the best it can, if you wanted to make sure the new university funding model is capable and is delivering to the students, he would have. He has the capability, he has the intellectualism, and he has the will to do it. So even if you check the sports sector, but I can't blame him so much for the sports sector, because the sports sector has been very poor from back then in the days. Because you will notice that our stadiums are still not up to par. Recently, there was a stadium that was opened in Siaya, and it's still not a good stadium. And there's something which Rigathi said, that in the government, the cabinet secretaries don't have a say. Even the deputy doesn't have a say. He said that the president is the one who is behind everything. He's the one dictating what is happening in each and every institution. So I don't know how true it is, but those are the words of the former deputy president. So if it is true, if it is, then there's something wrong with this country, because we have a broad-based government, and it has been further broadened because they have also brought in some of the experts of the previous regime, like Kabogo, and the more they broaden it, and nothing is still happening in this country. So our institutes are terrible. So I hope it's not under dictatorship, the way the former deputy president said, because if it's under dictatorship, then there is no need of having those people, and they're just they're just doing what they're being told by the president, and instead of them enacting proper policies and implementing them to try and salvage something, because Kenyans are already tired with this government. If it's just February and people already are planning to reject Finance Bill 2025, then it rings a bell that something is wrong. Thank you.
Perfect. Jeremiah, I know you have heard what Alex said, but now, we have this country. The cabinet of William Ruto has raised eyebrows since from the first day, and these are the people who will help the government. If you are in the Ministry of Tourism, then you are the one who will run that ministry. President will not be concerned because you are the one who was given that mandate to run that ministry. Do you think that even the cabinet secretaries have been reluctant when it comes to performing to help the government do their work?
I don't think Bonnet's reluctance. It's utter incompetence. It is just incompetence. I think this administration's cabinet, the very first one, Vilwalingia, the one when he did the reshuffles, even the ones he has now, is one of the most incompetent cabinets this country has ever had. And I doubt if we'll ever have any cabinet as incompetent as the ones this administration has had. Something Alex has said that that he doesn't know if the president is a dictator, is telling the cabinet secretaries what to do. I'm going to answer that, but that is going to tie into something else that we said before. I think last week we kept saying that there is a skill mismatch between cabinet secretaries and the cabinets they are heading, the portfolios they hold. And somebody was busy saying that, oh, the minister doesn't implement, it's the CSS that implement. Whereas that is true, the cabinet secretary should have the expertise or whatever failed, so that if the PS is doing something stupid, he can tell. If the PS is putting together policy that is not going to work, he can tell. For example, if you have somebody in Ministry of Health who has a medical background, who has worked in the medical field in Kenya, who has worked in the public sector in Kenya, if you try to bring these issues, you would even understand when you say, let's create a public health commission, right? The way we have teacher service commission, we have judicial service commission. Why don't we create a public health commission, right? Which is something every government refuses to do, but it is something that the health sector needs. So the cabinet secretary has to understand that if you bring in somebody who has no background in security and you make him CS for interior, what do you expect? He understands nothing about security, right? So that fallacy that si lazima cabinet akue na skills in a match in a ministry, that's a fallacy. That because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the performance or the misperformance of that ministry inaangukia the cabinet secretary. Nasemanga you ministry na perform or I perform because of the cabinet. So why not then match the skills with the portfolio? To answer what Alex is asking, Alex, can I tell you something? I don't think that the president tells the cabinet secretaries what to do. I think that their permanent secretaries tell them what to do. I dare you, Alex, wherever you are, just Google. You'll see that in all ministries, permanent secretaries are Calais, period. And it's 100%. Permanent secretaries are Calais. Now, where you find that kuna ka PS mwingine si mkale, unapata kama ni ministry iko na department. So for example, Ministry of ICT, the permanent secretary for information technology and digital economy, and then kuna PS for telecommunications, what huko utapata ni mkale, but the overall CS hapo in all ministries of Kale. So that tells you that the president does not have the intent of delivering services. Na bon wache kulala fua. Bon.
Nakusikia.
Na kuona ukidoze off, macho inakuwa mzito.
Endelea, niko sawa.
Yeah, so the government is not dictating, the president is not dictating to the cabinet secretaries what to do, but his PSS are dictating to the CSS what to do. And that is a travesty that almost unapata kama interior think to CS ni si mkale. Is there another one? Hakuna. Interior peke yake, the rest wakale, from treasury, finance, hiyo wote, which is not the way to go. The government needs to be balanced. It needs to represent the face of the country. So hata ukiona kina Mbadi wakilialia ati yeye amepewa anakula ati yeye ni CS, CS cabinet secretary, yeye hakuna kitu anafanya. PS ndiye anafanya kazi hapo. So I don't think that this administration is serious about delivering services. It is the most incompetent cabinet that Kenya has ever seen. Both ile ya kwanza na ile akarishafula akaleta. Now how do you bring somebody like Aisha Jumwa ati ni cabinet secretary wa foreign affairs aende kumit na watu international matters? How? That was really embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing. But that's where we are. Thank you.
As that is Jeremiah, and of course, Jeremiah, you have said that they are incompetent, yeah, and also that mismatching. Of course, you see someone who is not qualified being given another docket, which is very serious. Now we have this Ministry of Health, which is having this SHA. Of course, the other day I remember when we are discussing about the SHA, it had a lot of issues. When you go to these hospitals, they are saying that the SHA is not working. Others are saying, of course, you remember Leo, one of the cartels in the government, he was saying SHA is working. Others are saying SHA is not working. Well, and of course, the new cabinet secretary for the Ministry of Health, Ibo has never even talked. She is silent. She doesn't even talk about health. She doesn't even talk about what is happening when we lack those support in terms of medicine from the America. Yani, they are just there. Do you think that even the cabinet sector, they don't speak? They just there to wait for the end month. Then after the end month, then they will just get their money. They are not speaking. I've not heard them speaking. We have the Minister of Education. We had the university students complaining about help, complaining about the new funding model. We have the CBC. Even the ideas that are being implemented in the government, some people are saying they are totally not agreeing with what is happening. Do you think that there are some people who are telling the CS maybe to keep silent?
So I've heard a lot of things there. So I didn't get the question, but I will give my submission. So this share thing, Bonnie, as Mzalendo said 2 days ago, the share thing, it might be a good thing, but the communication from the government to the citizens was terrible. Even right now, I can gladly say to you, Bonnie, Kenyans don't have the facts about SHA in chief. We don't have the facts. We don't know it well enough. We are used to NHIF. So the transition was very, very, very poor. And you see, the health sector is it's very delicate. It's not something that you can tamper with overnight. And as Jeremiah said 2 days ago, there was no public participation that was done on SHA and chief to see whether the citizens agreed to it being there or not. So it speaks volumes. It's the same thing even with the Adani deal. No public participation was done on it. We had to wait to hear from Nelson Amenya for us to know the airport is being sold. So you see, there are a lot of questions that we can raise about this government, and as Jeremiah has spoken about the incompetence and the lies and the fake promises. So this share thing, if they really had good intention, they could have planned it properly, done public participation, and so to ensure the moment they just implement it automatically starts, and then they would have taken a long time to implement it. So to ensure there is a smooth transition from NHIF to SHA, you don't just wake up one day and you say that people should register under SHA for them to receive treatment, and there is no accountability to where the money people are paying for NHIF is gone, and SHA is using a lot of money. I hear it's almost of 100 billion which has been invested, and yet we are complaining of the American, the Trump government not being able to fund our health sector. So, and as Uru said, we are not paying taxes to the US government, so we can't complain. And now we already have SHA, there's nothing we can do. So they should just find a way to restructure it in a way that it can work for citizens and it can do better than NHIF, so that we don't be too harsh on the government. Thank you.
Yes, you remember even there was the other day when one of the CS was gonna tell that they are there to perform, but when you consider those people, then you see that they have been doing nothing. Kenyans are still complaining, and we have the new cabinet secretaries that were brought in. That is Lee Kinyanjui, William Kabogo, and also how this one is affecting Kenyans' development. Yeren, do you think that because of that meeting where William Ruto met with the fourth president, maybe this is where names were suggested? You just be given names provided they are from the area where I have interest, then you give them that position. Does it shows how Kenya is transparent, or we are just there trying to push right, left, and center to wait for 2027? Are these
And
CS being nominated in the right way?
and that's an example. You just mentioned Kawago Gitao in ICT. What background does he have that makes you think he understands the global IT trends for him to be
The
able to
other day, you
see
were
this is
saying
what
that
needs to be
he will
done?
limit use of internet in the country if the Gen Z
Can
are going
can,
to
can you
start
imagine?
sending
Can you
those
imagine?
images.
Can you imagine in this time and age where technology drives every facet of our lives, from kulala, kuamuka, kukula, everything? Technology drives our lives from end to end. Sasa kama unakuwa na cabinet secretary anasema atanyonga internet, what type of thought process do you think that type of a cabinet secretary has, and is the cabinet secretary for ICT? Yeah. So that's where I come from with the statement that we have a skills mismatch with the portfolios of the people that we charge with the responsibility of moving our country forward. What needs to be done in Kenya is a very, very drastic surgery, uh, and a mindset shift in the way we run this country. And in all honesty, I don't think it would come through the ballot. I don't think a president that goes through the campaign process in Kenya and ends up in State House has the capacity or even the interest of turning this country around. The only person that would be able to do this for us is maybe somebody who comes in through force, through some sort of military force, or maybe somebody who comes in through some natural occurrence with the president, and this person comes in, as a caretaker, then decides to change. They say the same thing that happened with Moi's transition from Kenyatta time, yeah. But somebody who goes through the electoral process, by the time you get to State House, you are entangled into so many debts. You owe so many people so much money, and those people are the ones who are going to come to you with these shady deals, proposals, like the Adanis, like the Shays, the Chef, and the rest. These are just you know, they are called PIP, privately initiated proposals by individuals who supported this administration to get in power. So when they get to State House and they say, Baba, ile kazi tumefanya mzuri, mi nataka hii, nisukumie hii. Do you think he's going to say no? He won't. He won't. He will push. He will say it's not. Wacha ikue. And those people even suggest to the president, ndo tusukume hii, weka hii nani yangu akue hapo. Anaambia president who to put as the cabinet secretary for that office. When the cabinet secretary gets there and he knows that wewe ndio ulimweka pale, ukimwendea with something, do you think he's going to say no? He won't. And so that's the core of the rot of our society. It's not going to change once. It's not going to change after one administration to the next. It's going to be a process, but it will be a painful one. To make it to the point where tunaweza kuwa na accountable leaders, for example, the way what's happening in Rwanda now. Rwanda is so far ahead of us in terms of accountability, responsibility, and performance on the part of public officials. They know kazi ni ya wananchi na taifa, si yake. Akijaribu kukula yake peke yake, something bad will happen to him. For us to get to that level, the president has to be somebody who does not owe anyone anything. Ule anaweza amka asubuhi aseme, wa Kenya, hii kabine, hii nini yote, parliament yote, mimi sitaki, I'm dissolving this parliament, and I'm suspending the constitution for 90 days kwa sababu nataka niweke vitu 1 2 3 4 wafanyie kazi nyinyi wananchi. And once you have wananchi on your side, you are sorted. Wa MP wote warudi home, wakuje a new election, waambie wananchi, msiniletee watu wajinga, nileteni watu wazuri. Kama kuna cabinet, toa yote. If you have a cabinet of the previous administration, toa yote, kila mtu aende home, start afresh, handpick. Hata kama mtu hana pesa, but you know it's the right person. For example, if you asked me, if president, and then you said me, I want to build the Kenyan ethos, nitafute mtu kama old people from kitambo who really knew what Kenya was when Kenya was really the pride of Africa. Wakuje waseme, this is what we want to change. Give them instructions that move the country forward. But tukingoja tuende na hii mtindo, I'm afraid it's not going to happen, not in our lifetime. Hatutaona hiyo, tutaionea kwa view sasa.
That is the Jeremiah. Of course, we heard that a meeting that happened the other day when we had the former president meeting the current president Ruto and Uhuru meeting, and that is where after that we had the reshuffle. Mutai Kagwe and also William Kabogo and Lee Kinyanjui. They were nominated and given that mandate to serve as cabinet secretaries. The other day they were vetted. So Kenyans were questioning, why do we have people from the same region being given those opportunities? There's even that in Ukambani, in Western, in other areas, we don't have leaders who can be given that job, who can be given that service. Because Mutai Kagwe, you remember in the COVID-19 saga, a lot of people were afraid because of COVID-19. That is in the year 2020, whereby it was declared a national disaster. But the other day, we saw what happened during those days. The other day was given the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Kagwe, and people were saying he was involved in those COVID-19 scandals. Jeremiah, do you think that corruption has been rampant in this country, such that we have normalized corruption, like just going to school? As we all know, people must go to school.
Corruption will destroy this country beyond anything. The other day in Senate, Onyonka was saying our revenue, not even GDP, our revenue potential as a country can run Kenya, can run Rwanda, can run Tanzania, can run Uganda, can run South Sudan, can run Ethiopia, can run Madagascar, I believe, Madagascar, I think, and what was the other country? Eritrea. The revenue that we collect as a country in 1 year. So let's separate the revenue and GDP. Wachana na GDP. Our revenue that we collect in a year can run those 8 countries. Bila those countries collect any revenue. Ile pesa collect to within the physical geographical area of Kenya can run those countries for 1 year. What does that tell you? Pesa tuko nayo, but probably upwards of 50-60% of our revenue goes to corruption, right? So corruption started at the very top, but there's something I read. I saw somebody saying the other day. I think it was Dr. Oginde, chairman of EACC. He said that the most corrupt people in Kenya right now, aside from the politicians, are our professionals who are in these public institutions. So accountants, procurement officials, human resource officials, people like that, they are the ones who are more corrupt in these public sector institutions than anyone. So that is also where we have to look into. Where did we get to a point where Wakenya wanakula tu serikali hivyo without the fear of repercussions? Wanakula tu, anajua tu atakula na nothing will happen. The society is rotten, and that is where we are, unfortunately.
The society is rotten. Alex, do you think that corruption is normalized in Kenya? Even niliona leo, nilikuwa natembea, hata kupaka gari kwa county council, county government, lazima tu kuwa unajulikana.
You see, Bonnie, corruption is let's call it the foundation of this nation is corruption. It has been there for a while, from all the previous regimes, all the ones from even the times of Kenyatta. Corruption has been there in this country, and you see the worst thing about it is it's celebrated, because you find in countries like China, if you dare participate in corruption, you're hanged. You see, in the more advanced countries, if you participate in corruption, you will be denied the opportunity to live. But here in Kenya, you find you participate in corruption, then you're elected in a seat, and we can clearly see from many of the politicians, because even the right now president, he has been involved with some cases of grabbing land. Again, how true it is, we don't know. It has to be substantiated for us to verify. So corruption is there. Even and they can't just say from the top. Even here at the bottom, corruption is there, because if you can use a matatu and you go there and the driver is caught with the matatu driver is caught with a problem, then they can go and speak to the police and give him something small for you guys to continue. That is corruption. If you can go to an institute, Boni, then you find somebody who is your tribe, then you have to speak it to be able to get some favor, instead of so the person who is, let's say, heading the institute, for example, and gives you an upper hand against another person, that is still being corrupt. So corruption is there in the little in the little parts and in the large parts. So sometimes even the president is just is a reflection of who we are as citizens, because we can't just say the one who is corrupt, because even here in the grassroots, citizens are corrupt. So that's why people are so determined to break the mirror that reminds them of their ugliness. Because when you see the president, you remember that's who we are, corrupt citizens. That's why it's very difficult even for us to elect leaders of integrity, because we are finding ourselves also being corrupt in the small ways. So corruption is a vice, and it's hindering this nation from developing. As Jeremiah said, the revenue that is being collected is good enough to cater for this country. And also, as to add on what Jeremiah said, also Senator Nyonka said, Kenya is the country where money is borrowed from the outside and it fails to reach here the inside. So what is that? That is corruption of the highest level, and the CSs, anytime they are being vetted after a year or two, you find their net worth's always improving by 100 or 200 million, and yet the country state is slowly moving down. So what does that show you? There is corruption. And can we end it? I don't think we can end it, but we can try to curb it, but it has to start from the top.
There is corruption. So we cannot just end it immediately, but we curb corruption because we have issues of corruption. Because Kenyans are saying that during the meetup where Uhuru and William Ruto met, that is when names of Mutahi Kagwe were suggested. Now we have the broad-based government in the country, but still the broad-based government has not performed because they cried for this government for long. They wanted the Ababa to lead. But the broad-based led by Okia Labani, of course, you have seen how they are doing. You have seen how Junet Mohammed is doing. You have seen how John Badi is doing. They are just there trying to just push this, supporting everything. Mwingine anasema mdomo ni yangu, changu, siasa zangu. And this is someone who has been saying that Baba anataka kuwe rais ndio wasaidie wa Kenya. So in whose hands will be Kenya be safe? Because a lot of people are still questioning this government.
Ni mbaya sana. Hii ni mambo ya kufungia mtu mmoja. Hii ni state capture. Sijui nini. Iko kwa record ya bunge, hata kama yeye ni waziri sahihi hawezi kuruka. Alisema hivyo. Baadaye tukagundua kumbe mambo ni tofauti. Kumbe hiyo ilikuwa inasaidia ili watu waweke watengeneze viwanda mingi ya kutengeneza clinker. Watu wengi wameapply sasa kufanya kazi ya clinker. Mambo ya kutoa clinker huko ngambo ikakwisha. Sasa unajua kuelewa mambo ni hivyo polepole. Saa nyingine unapinga kitu na inakuja polepole. Ya leo hii hatutapinga kwa sababu naona ni kitu mzuri pia. Hatutaki kuingia kwa hiyo mtego ile tuliingia ya kwanza ya clinker. But Your Excellency, what I want to say is that huko bunge sisi tutaunga mkono mambo ambayo yatapeleka nchi mbele. Na mimi nataka kuhimiza wananchi ya kwamba sisi tumechaguliwa kama wabunge, tuko na akili na tumesoma na tunajua. Hatuwezi kuwa tunakubali mambo ambayo yanadhuru wananchi. lakini hatuwezi pia kusema ushuru yoyote ambayo iko katika nchi yetu ni ushuru mbaya. Lazima tutofautishe gani mzuri, gani mbaya. But if we generalize everything and we say all taxations are bad, then tufunge nchi. Kila mtu sasa aende kasi yake ingine, alime shamba yake, kila mtu afanye, angalie kondoo yake, ngamia yake, kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Hakuna haja sasa ya kukua na nchi. Saa hii nchi yetu imekuwa katika shida, and we must accept ya kwamba even though mimi nilikuwa nataka baba yangu akuwe rais, lakini kaenda hivyo hivyo. Nchi ilikuwa katika hali ngumu, Your Excellency, when you took over. Deni zilikuwa nyingi, mambo ilikuwa mazito. Watu ya upinzani kama sisi tulikuwa tunangojea na tumetarejea kwa muda mrefu mpaka sasa imekuwa after broad base, sasa ikachelewa, ya kwamba mtashindwa kulipa hii deni. When are you going to default? Not if. We knew this was they are going to default. When they default, sasa tuko na hawa bega kwa bega. Tuambia si wameshindwa na kazi. Sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, congratulations. Umejikakamua mpaka leo. Naona mambo inaenda hivi tu. Vizuri kabisa. So sisi tunaunga mkono kwa kazi nzuri. Na uchumi vile mimi naona sasa vile deni inalipwa na policies ambayo umeweka ya macroeconomics ambayo zinasaidia nchi. Naona hapa mbele kuna nuru. Hapa mbele hakuna giza. Na ile wale watu ambaye unajua sisi pia tulileta kwa serikali experts kali sana, Your Excellency. Tunaita wa experts. Huko ODM wanaitwa experts. Wana ujuzi tofauti. Wengine wana ujuzi zaidi hata ya kibinadamu nyingine hatari. Chungana na hawa. Lakini ni experts ambaye tumesema wakilishe wananchi, wasaidie wananchi, na sisi tutahakikisha ya kwamba katika bunge, mimi ndio sasa kiongozi huko, tutahakikisha tutafanya mambo yote ambaye itapeleka nchi yetu mbele. Na tusiwe nchi ya kulalamika peke yake, kwa sababu mimi nina uhuru ya kusema chochote mimi nataka kusema. Huwezi kufunga mdomo yangu. Jana nimeongea hapa Taita Taveta, naona wengine wananirukia, bana mdomo ni yangu. Siasa ni yangu. Wakati tuliingia wamama vile wanavaa, waliambia wamama walisema my dress my choice. Mimi pia nasema my politics my choice. Huwezi kunilazimisha vile mimi nataka kwenda. Kwa hiyo machache, asanteni sana, tukutane mbele. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana. Hey, that is Junet Mohammed. Of course, he's trying to congratulate the Kenya Kwanza government. And also, that is in front of the President of the Republic of Kenya. That is William Ruto. He was in attendance. And that is how the broad-based government leaders are trying to support the government. And yet, the Kenyans are complaining. The Kenyans are saying that they are suffering. Now, this is something that Kenyans have been questioning day and day. And the fight is still on. The other day, I was listening to close friends of the president, that is Oscar Sudi, when he was saying that they are not going to entertain anyone who is going to joke with the Kenyans. We're going to joke with the things that show support for Kenyans. If you're going to waste resources, if you're going to be dividing Kenyans, then you have no business in the government. That is Oscar Sudi, very close friend to president. And he was also in Western, again, where you were saying that they are not going to entertain all those. So if we elected, if the broad-based who have been crying for the government are going to show us that the government is working, and yet in the grassroots, in remote areas, also in the entire country, you see 90% of the Kenyans are crying. So what does that mean? It means that you get into the government, then you are the same thing. Even if it was Raila who had won the election, then the same thing that we are saying, then it is the same thing that they could have done.
Wamunyoro
But
Express.
they have been affecting, they have been attacking us.
Muongo mkabila. Eti unasema ati uliita watu kwako atukapangia William Ruto vile atakuwa rais. Wewe Wamunyoro wewe. Wewe ukipewa nafasi ya kuambiwa sasa wewe ndio naibu wa rais. Si tulikuwa tumebakisha mwezi 3 au mwezi ngapi Wamunyoro? Na tulikuwa tumepanga hizo vitu zote unaongea juu yake ya chata kwa every county, every region. Hii mambo yote ulipata kama iko tayari. Wamunyoro, wacha nikukumbushe. Wewe Wamunyoro. Ndindi, Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Moses Kuria, Kabogo, Waiguru, Cecily Mbarire, Kithure Kindiki, mpaka kule akina Mithika Linturi, na wengi wao walikuwa wanafaa ama walikuwa wanatoshea. You have equal measures ya kuchaguliwa kama naibu wa rais. Na wewe unajua what stakes or what happened hiyo siku on Saturday from saa 1 asubuhi mpaka Sunday saa 9 usiku, tukijaribu kujadiliana nani atakuwa naibu wa rais. Wewe unajua vizuri sana walipiga kura ya kwanza ukaanguka, ukapata kura 4. Wakapiga kura ya pili ukaanguka, ukapata kura 4. Wakapiga kura ya 3 ukapata kura 4. Wakafanya namna yote ile ikakuwa ngumu. Hao watu wote walikuwa ndaka Kindiki. Lakini mtu alisimama na wewe ni nani? William Samoei Ruto. Alikufa na wewe mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Mpaka hata saa 9 usiku wakati tuliwachana, wamemwambia okay, wewe amua. Lakini sisi tumekuambia tutaki huyu mtu. Lakini kesho baada akalasimisha on Sunday ukatangazwa kuwa naibu wa rais. Sasa leo unatuambia nini wewe ati ulisaidia? Wewe ulikuwa equal na wale wengine wote. Ukafika ukaanza ukora. Ile sukari mbaya ile ilitolewa Mombasa, nataka Wakenya wajue leo. Mtu alitoa hiyo sukari. Watu walifutwa KPA. Watu walifutwa KEBS. Watu Kenya wengi wadogo walifutwa kwa sababu ya wewe Wamunyoro kutoa sukari mbaya. Uliongoja rais ametoka, sijui alikuwa ameenda nchi gani, ukarelease sukari mbaya ukauza. Tukakuongelesha tukamwambia please, hii sasa ni mambo gani? Hiyo haikuisha. Ukaita tena rais sijui alikuwa ameenda safari gani, tena ukaita watu wa PS wa health abadilishe ile contract ya nets. Ukampeleka nyumbani na watu wengi wakaenda nyumbani kwa sababu yako. Umekula mpaka ukula pesa na askari. Ile ulisema ati askari yetu wakati ya uhuru waliteseka, hawakupewa BDM sao, pesa ikawekwa, ukaenda ukafagia yote ukakula. Mpaka hata maaskari wa ofisi yako ulisanya pesa yote ya coordination. Mimi nashukuru Mungu hata hawa JNZs kidogo walikuja ndio kitu yote itolewe. Ukanua mahoteli, ukafanya nini? Wewe ujiulize maswali. Na nimekuambia ujiulize maswali. Wabunge 300 wanaweza ukataa kwa nini? Mimi Sudi leo kwa hiyo bunge, hata kama mimi sio shabiki wa bunge sana, wabunge wote wanikataa, wasema ati huyu mtu ni mbaya. Sio, najiuliza maswali, there is something wrong. Nimeona jana wanaambia watu wa Mlemba ati mchunge sana, msidanganywe kama vile sisi tulidanganywa watu wa Mlima. Wao walidanganywa na nani wa Munyoro mtu ya Mlima? Kama tulikuwa tunataka tupatie tu Mlembe chairman, tukipatia au chairman na fiti 2-3, ulikuwa unapiga kelele kweli. Sisi watu wa Mlima. Ati shares. Hii tukakwambia my friend, mawaziri 8-9 wako nyumbani. PSS zaidi ya 20 wako kwenu. Tugawe wengine kwa Wakenya au taki. Sasa wewe unaweza chaguliwa na watu are you going to save them? Are you going to spare them? Na unaongea sasa, wewe unajidanganya sasa ati unagawa kama wewe ni Mkenya. Wewe ni mkabila na wewe ni mtu hatari sana. You are a very dangerous man kwa hii Kenya. So wacha kuongea na wacha kuongelea William Ruto. Alijaribu namna yoyote kukufanya uwe mtu. kwa kukuleta kiwango ya siasa ya juu. Lakini nimegundua kwa siasa inataka experience. Ulikuja tu one time MP mpaka umekuwa naibu wa rais. Wazimu ikakuingia, power ikakuingia. Unataka kusanya hapa, unataka kusanya hapa. Unauliza bilioni 10 na unajua venye tulipata inji vile iko. Wewe unajua maana ya bilioni 10 wa Manyoro? Wewe unajua bilioni 10 itatengeneza barabara zote za mlima na kila mahali. So wa Kenya ni vizuri tuambie sasa zingine. Mimi sikwenda tuongelee huyu mtu. Hatukutaka kumwaibisha kwa sababu yeye alikuwa naibu wa rais wetu. Lakini huyu mtu ni mkebe. Tena ya blue band. Wacha kudanganyana kupeleka inji ni kubwa kushinda mimi sisi wote. So wacha kujifanya tunafanya coalition hapo. Na William Ruto sio rika yenu kwa siasa. Yaani hata wewe unajua hiyo. Wacha tufanye kazi. Tulisaboli. Mwaka huu mambo inaenda kuwa mzuri. Tuliweza kulipa Eurobond. Tumeweza kustabilize uchumi. Tumesukisha bei ya mafuta. Tumesukisha dola. Tumesukisha chakula. Tunaenda sasa kulipa madeni ya raia. Burning bills. Na tutembeze kazi. By the end of this year wewe Mnyoro wewe utashindana na nani? Utashindana wewe tungekuwa hakuna hata siku moja ulikuwa unapanga agenda ya serikali. Kazi yako kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni. Utaiba wapi? Huyu mtu ni mbaya sana. Hii watu wake ni watu wabaya. Mara sijui nani amefanya hii. Mara sijui Ndindi bwana anatembea anaanza kuomba kura. Mara sijui nini. Tafadhali wa Mnyoro, wewe sio mtu wa kuongea Kenya hii. Tafuta na wewe sio rika ya William kwa siasa. Wewe ni rika yangu. Ishungwa. Na wale wengine wadogo wote tukuja huko Meru labda Pato na wengine, yani wewe ni rika yetu. Tukikuja wa Mumbi hapo kwenu hapo, tukuja hapa tukirudi hapa nyuma kidogo Ishungwa, tukienda pale kidogo group ya kina Kiborek, hii group ya kina Nyakundi, hiyo ndio rika yako kwa siasa. Acha kujiweka siasa ya juu. Mtu ulipewa kiti free of charge. Wewe na mimi tuliangaishwa na Uhuru. Wewe unajua. Tukajitetea tutoke kwa hiyo shida. Sasa naona tena
that is a close friend to the president, and that is Oscar Sudi when he was speaking, and he was saying he is speaking directly as the first persona in this conversation, whereby he is saying that we are going to make changes, we are going to perform. It's like he is in the government. But of course, we know that he is in the government, but he was slamming the district deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, Rigiji. That is also the president when he was in the northeastern part of Kenya. He talked a lot.
Ya kura unaanza ukana matako moja. Mkisia anakaa hivi, Mkikuyu anakaa hivi. Hiyo tabia tuache. Pembe zote za Kenya ni nyumbani kwa kila mtu. Tunaelewana? Na ndio mimi nawaambianga isifike siku ya kura unaona mtu amefunga sofa set, mwingine amefunga kitanda, mwingine sijui amefunga nini, mwingine anaenda western, mwingine sijui anaenda. Hiyo ujinga lazima iishe Kenya hii. Si ndio? Na mkiona saa zingine, na nataka munisikize vizuri. Mkiona saa zingine nikikuwa mkali kwa neno ukabila, muelewe. Si Wakikuyu ni wengi hapa. Hata ile tulifanya Nairobi kuvusa Gachagua. Unajua watu wengi hawaelewi. Siku moja mtajua ilikuwa ni lazima aende. Uwezi lete villager kukuja ku-incite all Kenyans. Oh, huyu ni sijui nani, sijui shares ya nini hapa, sijui nini pale. Tuko na Wakikuyu capable wenye wanaweza unganisha nchi, wenye tunaweza shikana sisi wote. Kwani nyinyi mlikuwa mnajua Gachagua mwaka 5 iliyopita? Si mmejua yetu juzi wakati amekuwa naibu rais? Kwani nchi itasimama Gachagua akitolewa? Kwani leo tukiamua kutoa William Ruto nchi itasimama? Hata huyo William Ruto akiletea ukabila tunaimpeach yeye, tunafukuza yeye. Ukianza kusimama kusema huyo ni sijui nani, kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni unaongea fitina tu, hutaki kujenga kitu, hutaki kusema kitu yote. Unasema tu huyu alifanya hii. Na hata wacha niwaambie, si nataka niwaambie ukweli. Si Gachagua amekuwa deputy president kwa mwaka 2. Si mimi nimekuwa mjumbe kwa mwaka 12. alete rekodi yake ya mwaka 2 akiwa deputy, amesaidia nani, na mimi nilete yangu. Mimi namshinda mara 500. Na ndio mnataka muelewe, si ati ukitoa mtu ama ufukuse mtu ati kwa sababu ati unamchukia, hapana. Sometimes mtu kama ni wrong ni wrong, kama Sudi ni wrong, mwambie Sudi wewe ni wrong. Juzi tumekuwa hapa Mosbridge. Watu wamechomokewa pale, wanabiashara sio wakale, ni wote, ni mixed up. Mimi nimetoka safari hata sijapumzika. Gavana amefika na huyu chama kidogo. Oh, tumechomokewa Mosbridge. Na ule MCA ya rafiki yako wa Mosbridge ametutu.
That is Oscar Sudi, and he's a very close friend to the president. But he's saying that we need to work for the people of Kenya. Of course, I can see in the comment section just awesome. I mean, the problem in the central region did not happen yesterday, but yet to know more before 2027. Also, we have awesome saying the beginning. What Uhuru next move is moving towards Gachagua because he loves when the government is in crisis. This region is a problem that happened today. You are yet to learn more as we get. That is Laban awesome. Gachagua will remain disaster in UDA. This is a learning process for the young generation. The central region is stubborn politically. Never trust anyone from the central region. This is just the beginning. That is awesome in the comment section. Remember to always follow Afrique24. You can join us through the comment section, and also subscribe to Afrique24 through our social media platform. And also you can like, comment, and share our news here in Afrique24. Where are you following this great conversation from? Where are you following this great conversation? Because you know a lot of things happens as we discuss here in Afrique24. Here we unlock stories from all over the country.
Wa Kenya wote, jameni, tuungane, tushirikiane. Ya muhimu sio uchaguzi wa 2027. Ya umuhimu sasa ni mpango ya transformation ya Kenya. Barabara tutakazojenga, maji tutakayofikisha kwa manyumba ya wananchi, stima tutakayofikisha kwa nyumba ya wananchi. Hawa vijana tuwapange na ajira, na wale wengine wote tuhakikishe ya kwamba tuna madawa katika mahospitali yetu. Na ndio mimi nataka niwaulize viongozi, let us unite so that we can have a plan and we can prosecute the agenda for the transformation of our nation. Matters 2027 will come and the people of Kenya will decide. For now, we must focus on making sure that we deliver on the commitments that we made. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that this administration, under my leadership, is going to focus on the transformation of Kenya, making sure that our teachers are in school, our children are being taught, our farmers have the support they need. We build roads, we connect electricity, we connect water, transform our nation. That is what is important for every Kenyan, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of the region they come from, irrespective of the religion they profess, irrespective of any other consideration. And that is why we must work together as leaders and as a nation. Na mimi nataka niwatahadharishe, upande ule mwingine ni watu hawana mpango, hawana sera, hawana ideas, hawana chochote. Ati mpango yao yote ni vile watagawanya wa Kenya. Kama hawasemi mambo ya ukabila, wanasema mambo ya sijui dini. Kama hawasemi mambo ya dini, wanasema sijui nani wa kutoka mulima, nani wa kutoka bonde, nani wa kutoka bara, nani wa kutoka ziwa, nani wa kutoka wapi. Kama hawafanyi hiyo, wanasema nani yako na kazi, nani hana kazi. Nani yako na payslip, nani hana payslip. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa, if you want a semblance of a competition, look for an agenda. Leave division. Division will not get you anywhere. And the people of Kenya are resolved to unite so that together we can transform our nation. We cannot transform our nation divided. We will transform our nation united. and that is why we are united as a people of Kenya. Watu wa Mandera, munasema tuungane ama tutengane? Tuungane ama tutengane Mandera?
Tuungane ama tutengane. That is the President William Ruto when he is having this tour in northeastern Kenya, specifically Mandela. And today I was following his conversation all over in that area, and he is saying that Kenya will be transformed. Kenya will be transformed very soon. But now we have few years. We have 2026 before we get approached to 2027, which is the year of a general election. So when are we going to have this development happening in just months? There's no projects take years, things to happen. It takes a lot of time. But that is the president when he was speaking, and this is after the fight for the mountain. Gachagua, after he was impeached, he has been making headlines all through, and he has been making sure that in any press he has to mention anything that concerns the government.
And communication, and it can't be the peers having to communicate on behalf of SHA. Yes. When we enacted the laws for SHA, we never enacted a law where the peers of the ministry will superintend over the authority. The authority ought to be semi-autonomous, and you must show us that you have the capacity and ability to manage the institutions. If you are not, you tell us you are not going to do it, then the ministry of the government or ourselves, we can take measures. 2 hours later, to the PS, you had the discussion that was there with the arrest of the lady was arrested. And we would just want to know 2 or 3 things. First, who was the complainant for this lady to be arrested? Was it SHA? Was it the ministry? Or was it the police acting on their own volition without investigation by either SHA or the ministry? If it is the ministry, we want to know what was the complaint against the lady.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
2, I have been asking you here. We saw in the video that she was released from the police for about 50,000 shillings. If you are
Maybe elsewhere I have some power, I have some leverage, but at home I have no power. Because you are my neighbors, you are my relatives. So you decide. Nyinyi mu decide. You decide. Mimi I cannot come there now at the campaign center yangu ni Marimandi. By the time utoke hapo ufike Sigalagala, ama Lungalunga, ama sijui core. So nyinyi, mi naomba kwa heshima munisaidie. Muniombee jameni. Muniombee. Muombee rais. Muombee rais, and don't be cheated by anybody. What is the alternative? Kalonzo and Wajakoya? Ati serikali tulitafuta kwa jasho miaka mingi. Mimi, I've been around President Ruto for 18 years. All my youth have been around that man. Today is the president. He is the only man between me and the whole country. Then I start sabotaging him. Ati nianze kumchimba. Takuwa mchinga wa mwisho. So we will do whatever it takes. Mimi naomba tu kwa heshima, because you know I can't sasa kina Kithoka au ni watu ya nyumbani, kina Gaturo, mmeona hapa, watu ya home. Naona watu ya home hapa kina Anita. Sasa sitaki tukuje tusukumane hapo nyumbani, please. Please, sitaki. And also be careful what you say, especially the things you put on social media. Because the whole country now is watching you. If you speak thinking you are an MCA, nobody knows you. The fact that you are an MCA from Tharaka Nithi, the whole country wants to hear what is the MCA from Tharaka Nithi saying. Sinamna hiyo. Na wanasema Tharaka Nithi kule kwa deputy president, si ndio? So please, in a home huwezi kosa kukosana. Tunatafuta viti hapa, tunapinga sijui nani, tunataka hii kiti na tuko wengi, mnavurugana hapo. Lakini sasa hapa juu tuwe careful, tusiharibu. Na tuwe careful vile tunaongea, because majirani na watu wa Kenya wanaangalia. Huyu mwenzangu alitolewa kwa kiti kwa kuongea mambo ya nyumbani kasoro hekima. Hakuna mtu aongeangi mambo ya nyumbani, lakini kwa heshima, kwa hekima, kwa hekima. So don't push me. Ati tunataka deputy president tutangazie.
Mniombe na muombe rais, that is the deputy president currently, Kithure Kindiki, when he was speaking in Mount Kenya region. He is requesting, he is appealing for that prayer, because he thinks that the president has the right manifesto so that he can change this country. Of course, he is the deputy president, and also he's saying that Gachagua was impeached because he used to tell Kenyans more about the mountain. He was speaking more about the mountain.
Of revenue is what has led this country to the accumulation of pending bills. And that takes me now to the last comment I want to make. The Pending Bills Committee, which has been meeting under the chairmanship of Edward Ouko, has given us what one would consider almost a final report, but it is still preliminary report. Out of the bills that were submitted to the committee, amounting to 665 billion, they have analyzed about 474 billion worth of bills. Out of that, they have been able to only clear 206 billion. So either these bills have been fictitious, or maybe too much of other charges like interest and penalties. Now, if we have 206, and out of that, 95% of those bills, in terms of numbers, are amounts between 1 shilling and 10 million, basically owing to MSMEs. So we are taking a decision. The last meeting we had as executive, under the chairmanship of the president, we agreed that we make a provision in the supplementary budget too, God willing, if there will be space, that we clear these small bills owing to MSMEs, so that we only remain with the bigger bills, which already also we have a strategy, because remember, we are soon going to pay a lot of pending bills under the road sector in this month of February. So that will help in reducing the pending bills and bringing more liquidity to our economy.
That is a CS mwenye anadili na pesa. He is explaining on issues concerning money in this country, because it has been questioned. The financial year 2024-2025 has been raising a lot of concerns when it comes to Kenyans, and also the president also has also addressed the same issue today. I was following the conversation when he was in those areas of Mandera. Also, he has addressed issues concerning the economy of this country, but they are working very hard so that they can settle the economy of this country. That is CS John Badi is one of the broad-based leaders who joined the Kenya Kwanza government when Kenyans were crying after the Gen Z protests, after the Gen Z said no to the CS whom they said they were incompetent. the 40th President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, when he was speaking and he was trying to awesome, awesome. He is saying that we should also focus with developing our country, not just do things to please other countries. This is after the President of the United States, Donald Trump. He said that he's going to cut the support that he has been giving to African countries. I find it difficult listening to Uhuru Kenyatta. That is awesome in the comment section. Continue setting them here in Africa 24. You know, this is the political discussion, and we are here discussing some of the top stories here. Make sure if you're following us here for the first time, you like, comment, and subscribe to Africa 24, because this is the political talk that happens here every day at 10 p.m. up to midnight. So you're welcome wherever you are, so that you can join this beautiful conversation, share your views, ideas, and here we give everyone a platform. We also give you this idea of joining the studio and talking to Kenyans directly when you have something that you need to share to the entire Kenya. Make sure you subscribe to Africa 24 in all our social media platforms, and make sure you follow Africa 24 in the YouTube channel.